Hello there, I'm Boniver, and recently I saw Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you my thoughts about the movie, and whether I think you should see it or not. Just a quick warning, however, this video may have spoilers. I'll try my best not to spoil it for you. If you don't want to be spoiled, this is your chance to leave. So this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to talk about one good thing, then I'm going to talk about one bad thing. Let's get into it, starting with the CGI and visual effects. Some parts of this movie are beautiful. If this movie had She-Hulk CGI, then it would just be horrible because the setting in this movie is a CGI setting. The CGI is what makes this movie, really. Most of the environments in general were just beautiful and amazing. Speaking of CGI, that's also one of the bad parts of this movie. You either have really good CGI scenes or really bad CGI scenes. The movie's not really consistent with CGI. Sure, the environments are beautiful, but some of the creatures didn't really look good with the CGI. And my biggest problem with the CGI was definitely MODOK's big floating head. It made me a little uncomfortable. The CGI was one of the best parts of the movie and also some of the worst parts. While we're on the topic of MODOK, let's talk about him. I wish he was in the movie a lot more, but I'm not really complaining. I thought it was interesting how they brought back the villain from the first movie and kind of have Ant-Man's story come full circle. And MODOK did have some of the funnier scenes in the movie. This movie did have a lot of comedy in it. And when it did have comedy, it was pretty good. I found myself laughing when I felt like I was supposed to laugh. Especially at this scene right here. But this movie didn't really feel like an Ant-Man movie. The first two were more comedy-centric, and that's what I enjoyed about them. They were different from other MCU movies, and that's really cool. But this one wasn't really comedy-based. Sure, it had a lot of funny scenes and lines, but not as many as the first two. And I can see that leading some fans away because that's maybe why they liked the first one, because they were funny. And their plots were pretty basic. Yeah, so this movie has a lot going on, and it's a lot to unpack. Unlike the first two movies, which had a straightforward plot. So, yeah, that's one of my biggest problems with this movie. It's not like the first two when I was expecting it to be like the first two. I mean, I did like the serious tone that they added. But, because it's Ant-Man, I feel like they just should have added a little bit more comedy into there. Now, let's move on to another good thing about this movie. If you've watched anyone else review this movie, they would say that Kang stole every scene that he was in. And he did. Jonathan Majors did such an amazing job playing him, and I'm really excited to see him in the future of Phase 5. This movie set up his backstory pretty well, and that post-credit scene is definitely leading us into the Kang Dynasty. So, yeah, Jonathan Majors did an amazing job, and this movie does a great job of setting up the rest of Phase 5. So, yeah, this movie's pretty important. You should watch it, because it will have a big role in the future of the MCU. Sadly, the critics aren't really enjoying this one. But don't worry about that. This movie's really enjoyable. Okay, I forgot to put this somewhere in the video, so I'll just talk about it now. I really enjoyed the relationship and dynamic between Scott and Cassie. That was definitely one of the best parts of the movie, and it kind of made the movie for me. Not much to say here. I thought it was just pretty nice. And also, the new character and suit designs were pretty cool as well. So, this is my initial review for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. My thoughts may change as I watch it again when it comes out on Disney+. But as of now, I'm going to have to give this movie a 7.5 out of 10. It's nowhere close to the best Marvel movie, but it's still pretty good. I'd probably rank it from top 20 to top 10 in my Marvel ranking. Let me know what you think about this movie in the comments. Do you think that it deserved a 48 on Rotten Tomatoes? Because I sure as heck don't. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Let me know what you want to see, and that's a cut.